Let's go Ravens! Something big is happening in Baltimore, and if this change actually happens, it could completely alter the team's course next season. There's a name gaining a lot of traction behind the scenes, and the reaction within the organization might surprise you. But before I reveal everything, don't forget to like this post if you truly believe this team is ready to take the next step. And I want to see something in the comments. Right, I believe in this team. Let's go all the way. Now let's get straight into it, because this situation is too important to waste any time. We're talking about a player who not only respects the Ravens organization but openly admitted that he would be more than willing to return to Baltimore. He talked about the locker room, about the leadership, about the kind of guys that are in there, players who truly respect the game of football. That matters more than people realize. Chemistry, culture, identity, these are the things that separate good teams from championship contenders. And when a player highlights that kind of environment, you pay attention. According to what was said, the Ravens locker room is filled with strong leadership and players who genuinely enjoy being around each other. That's not something you can manufacture overnight. That's built over time. And when someone who has experienced that environment says they'd gladly come back, it tells you everything you need to know about what Baltimore has created internally. Now here's where things start to get even more interesting. There's a growing push, loud and clear, for the Ravens front office to act fast and make a move to bring him back. And honestly, when you look at the numbers, it's hard to argue against it. During his time in Baltimore, he delivered a 9.5 sack season. That's not just solid, that's impact production. And if you think that was just a one-off, think again. Last season, in a limited role with another team, not even playing full-time snaps, he still managed to produce 8.5 sacks along with 24 tackles. Let that sink in for a second. A part-time role, and still putting up those numbers. Imagine what that looks like in a system where he's more integrated, more trusted, and surrounded by a defensive scheme that's evolving. Because that's the other key factor here. The Ravens are entering a new phase defensively. There's a new voice, a new approach, a new identity forming. And this kind of player fits perfectly into that transition. He wouldn't need to carry the entire load either. The current roster already has key pieces, including established pass rushers and emerging talent. This would be about adding depth, experience, and proven production. And for those who are worried about him taking snaps away from younger players, that concern doesn't really hold up. The reality is, there's room. There are still question marks in the rotation. There are still opportunities to maximize a player who has already shown he can deliver, even in reduced playing time. But here's the moment that really changes everything. When asked about the possibility of bringing him back, the franchise quarterback didn't hesitate. The response was simple, definitely. That's not vague. That's not political. That's direct approval. And when your QB1, the leader of your team, gives that kind of endorsement, it carries weight. A lot of weight. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about stats or nostalgia. It's about timing. It's about fit. It's about a team that knows it's close, really close, to taking the next step, but needs to clean up key areas to get there. And that brings us to the bigger picture. Ravens fans have been holding back their excitement lately. Not because they don't believe in the team, but because they've been here before. High expectations, strong rosters, and then falling short when it matters most. That kind of history forces a fan base to stay cautious. Even when moves make sense, there's always that hesitation. We've seen this story before. But this offseason feels different. There's a new coaching staff, a new energy, and a clear understanding that something has to change. Interviews sound promising, confidence is there, but as many fans have said, talk is cheap. What matters now is action. And this potential move? This could be one of those actions that signals the Ravens are serious about fixing what's been missing. The pressure is real, and it's not going anywhere. Because when you look at everything surrounding this team right now, it's clear that this isn't just another offseason move being discussed. It's part of a much bigger shift in Baltimore. The expectations haven't disappeared. If anything, they've grown stronger. This is still a roster that many believe should be competing for a Super Bowl, and anything less than that is going to raise serious questions. And that's why this potential reunion matters so much. We're talking about a defense that, for years, has been expected to carry this team in critical moments. But recently, that hasn't consistently been the case. There have been games, especially in key situations, where stops weren't made, pressure didn't get home, and turnovers didn't happen. And when that side of the ball struggles, everything else starts to feel heavier. So bringing back a proven pass rusher isn't just about adding another name, it's about fixing a real issue. And let's be honest, the Ravens don't need a complete overhaul. That's not the situation here. This is a team that's already close. The talent is there. The foundation is there. But sometimes, it's those specific moves, the ones that seem obvious, that end up making the biggest difference. Because think about it, a player who already knows the system, understands the culture, has produced at a high level, and still has something left in the tank, that's not a gamble. That's a calculated move. At the same time, there's another layer to this entire situation that fans have been talking about more and more. This new coaching staff. There's been a lot of discussion about the energy they're bringing, the confidence in their interviews, and the way they're presenting their vision for the team. People around the league are paying attention. There's hype building, but Ravens fans, they're a little more reserved. And honestly, you can't blame them. After years of coming up short, after seasons that felt like they should have ended differently, fans have learned to protect their expectations. They're excited, yes, but cautiously. And that's why moves like this matter even more. Because it's not just about what's being said anymore, it's about what's being done. Another major point that keeps coming up is the trenches. Both sides of the ball. There's a strong belief that this team needs to continue investing there, especially when it comes to pass rush and offensive line protection. Because everything flows from that. If the trenches are solid, it opens up the entire playbook. It gives the quarterback confidence. It allows the defense to dictate games instead of reacting. And speaking of the quarterback, all eyes are still on him. There's a growing sentiment that this season is going to define everything. No more looking back. No more pointing at previous coaching decisions. No more external factors. The expectation now is simple. Take this team where it's supposed to go. That's the reality of being the leader. That's the reality of being one of the best in the league. But here's the thing. Football is never just about one player. It's about putting the right pieces around him. It's about giving the team every possible advantage. And that's exactly why this potential move keeps coming back into the conversation. Because if the Ravens truly want to maximize this window, if they really believe they're one or two moves away, then this is the type of decision that can't be ignored. At the same time, there are still other questions floating around the roster. The tight end situation, for example, is something that continues to be discussed. There's confidence that the team can adapt and move forward, but there's also curiosity about how the offense will evolve and who will step into bigger roles. It's a new system, a new philosophy, and that always brings uncertainty. But uncertainty isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes, it's exactly what a team needs to break out of old patterns. And that's where the Ravens find themselves right now, standing at the edge of something new, with the opportunity to reshape their identity and finally push past the barriers that have held them back. So now it all comes down to execution. Will the front office act on what seems like a perfect fit? Will they listen to the locker room, to their quarterback, and to what the numbers are clearly showing? Or will this be another what-if moment that fans look back on later? And if this move does happen, could this be the piece that finally pushes Baltimore over the top? Let me know what you think. And if you've made it this far, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and check out the next video on your screen, because we're just getting started.